Hello and welcome to Everyday Linux User. In today's video we're going to be looking at the things you should do after installing Manjaro Linux. So in a previous video I showed you how to dual boot Manjaro and Windows 11, and that video is included in the description for this one. So here we are. This is a virtually vanilla install of Manjaro. The only thing I've installed is OBS Studio so that I can record this video. I've done nothing else to it other than connect to Wi-Fi. So we'll go through this welcome screen here, and we'll go through these things here. We'll look at what applications are installed, and we'll look at how to install other applications, how to do a bit of customization, and how to get Manjaro working to the way that you might want it to. So let's start off with this welcome screen. So you've got documentation, release info, and a wiki. The wiki is useful. It shows you how to start things up, a little bit about desktop environments, software management, hardware, network, troubleshooting, etc. So it's your first port of call should you have any issues whilst using Manjaro. You can go to the forums to ask questions there if you have any more issues. You could donate to the Manjaro project. You can get involved, and this will show you how you can get involved. It's not all about being a developer. There are other things you can do to get involved with projects. Then you've got the development option if you do want to get involved with development, and then you've got mailing lists, and finally you've got this applications here, and this will enable you to install common applications such as web browsers, email, office suites, etc. And we'll come to that shortly. I want to minimize that. If you lose that at any point in time, you can go to the menu and you can type Manjaro hello. So I typed hello there, and you can see this will bring up the welcome screen again. If you don't want this to show at startup, you can click the slider here, and that means this will never appear again unless you run it from the menu. So I'm going to minimize that for now, and you can see that's the icon there. And we'll look at this system tray. So you've got this icon, which is peek at desktop. So say I've got an application there. If I go like that, it's going to hide it, and then you can stop and it'll bring it back. You've got multiple workspaces. So on this one, for instance, I could have my welcome screen, but then if I want a nice clean desktop, I can go there. And this can be customized to add more in if you want to. And you can configure the virtual desktops. So you can change the way the animation goes. So at the moment it's slide, but we could have a fade desktop. Obviously you have to click apply, and that, as you can see, puts the number of the desktop if you have this one checked. This is OBS, so we don't need to worry about that. We'll come to this one shortly. It's about updating your system, and it's important within Manjaro and indeed any Linux distribution to keep your system up to date. And then you've got the clipboard, audio settings, Bluetooth settings, which we'll come to. You can adjust your screen brightness, and then your microphone, and then you've got your networks here, and then you've got a few more hidden ones. So notification, disks and devices, settings manager, things like that, display configuration. So let's start off with the Wi-Fi, because that's probably the thing you're going to need to do first. So if you click there, you get a list of your Wi-Fi networks, and if you want to connect one, you click that, and then when you click here, because it'll be, so if I say click on this one and click connect, it's going to ask for a password, and when you type in the password it will connect, but I'm already connected so I don't need to do that. Let's do Bluetooth. So you click there, you click pair device, and it will scan for devices to connect to. And you can see it's picked up my speaker, so click that, click next.
Connecting.
And that's it connected. You can see here it's got the dotted lines. If I want to disconnect, I just go up here and click disconnect. Whilst we're on the subject of hardware, we've done Wi-Fi, we've done Bluetooth, let's do printing. So down here we can go to and type print, the print settings. Click add to add a printer. I've got a network printer, so I'm going to go down here. And you can see it's found my printer straight away, so I just need to click, and then I just click forward here. Now it's picked a driver for me. I'm not sure that's the correct one. So if I click forward and click apply, I can now print a test page if I so wish, but that's essentially my printer setup. But let's talk about updates. So down here we've got 181 updates. So if I click on it, it was a left click, you can click apply, and that's the download size, and this is what it's going to update. So we're going to do that now. And you have to enter your password. So the updates are now installed. It took a few minutes to install. I didn't put you through the pain of having to watch it. You can see it says a restart is required for the changes to take effect. So we'll do that now. All you have to do is click the restart button. So here we are, we've rebooted back in, and you can see the updates thing is now gone away, and it says your system's up to date. So what are we going to do next? Let's have a look at some of the applications. Now down here you've got some quick launch icons. So OBS is there because it's running at this moment in time, but generally you have this button here which enables you to add or remove software. You've got Firefox down here, which is your web browser. You've got the terminal icon, and you've got the file explorer, which is called Dolphin. So if I click that, you can navigate around your file system. So all your documents will go in here, your downloads will go in there, you put all your music in there, pictures in there, you get the gist, and videos in there. So this button here is your menu. You click this and you've got the application launcher. Now you can click here and these are your favorites. So then you've got all applications here. So you can scroll through to see exactly what you've got. And if you want to make them a favorite, for instance, if I look at my favorites here, Dolphin is in there, but Elisa isn't. Now Elisa is a music player, so if I want to make that a favorite, I can do add to favorites. I can also add to desktop. I can also pin to the task manager at the bottom. So if I want to remove this from the desktop now, I right click like that. That's only deleted the shortcut, it hasn't deleted the application. And if I want to remove that from there, you do unpin from task manager like so. So let's have a look at what's installed by default. Under development we've got a text editor. Under graphics we've got GwenView, which is an image viewer. We've got help. We've also got a PDF viewer called Ocular, and a scan light which enables you to use your scanner that comes with your printer. And internet, you have Firefox and you have KDE Connect, so you can use KDE Connect to connect to your phone. You've got Avahi, which is a server browser for VNC, so if you want to remote connect onto other machines. Multimedia wise, we've got Elisa, which is a music player. Kdenlive I installed because it's part of, obviously, when I record videos I need to edit those videos. OBS I installed. I also installed Voco Screen initially because OBS Studio wasn't available till after install. And then VLC Media Player is for watching videos. Under Office, it depends what you installed when you first went through the installer of Manjaro. You get a choice between FreeOffice and LibreOffice. I chose FreeOffice, so I've got a planning tool, so I've got a spreadsheet tool, a presentation tool, and a text editor. And then you've got all these system tools down here. So one of the tools that you've got is Timeshift, and this enables you to create backups of your system to a point in time. So if I wanted to make sure that I didn't break my system and I can get back to this very point in time, I can choose next here. I can choose where the snapshot's going, and you can choose how often you take a snapshot. So I could take a daily snapshot if you use your system often. You could take a weekly one, a monthly one, like that. And then you choose what is actually backed up. So if I don't want to back up my home folders, I can do exclude all files, or I can include all files. So I can make sure that my home directory is backed up, for instance, and click next. And then I click finish here, and that will set up my snapshot. And you can see these are Linux Mint snapshots that I've had previously. Let's have a look at the theming, because this is kind of vanilla at this moment in time. So if I right click and I go into desktop and wallpaper, now I have a full guide for customizing KDE, which I'll include in the description of the video, but I'll go through a few of them now. So these are some of the images that you get with Manjaro. You could add in your own ones. So if I click add here, I've got some on this drive here. Actually, what I'm going to do, I don't want to do that one because I don't mount this drive every single time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Dolphin, and I'm going to go to this Gary Stuff folder. I'm going to take my EDLU wallpapers, copy, and I'm going to put that into my pictures folder like that. And then what I can do here is just select pictures, EDL wallpapers, and then we'll select all of these, click open, and they then become available in the list of images that I can use. And those of you who have been following along know that I like this image here. Now you can also do get new here. And that gives you a whole host of other wallpapers that you can use. You can also change this to be something else, so you can make it picture of the day. And this comes from various providers. Like that. You can change how your mouse button works. You can change icons, and you can add filters and things like that. So that's that. I want to go down here again. One of the things I like to change is power management. So if I go into here, you can see that when inactive it goes to sleep after 15 minutes. Now I'm using a desktop computer. I don't like my machine going to sleep. I want it to go to sleep because I could be editing videos, I could be watching something. I don't like it just turning off. So when inactive, do nothing. And it says it will result in higher energy consumption. Okay, I can live with that. And you can change how the power button works. So when it's pressed, it goes to the login screen, it can shut down, turn off the screen, do whatever you want it to do. Again, display and brightness, turn off the screen 10 minutes. I don't ever want to turn off the screen. Other settings, when inactive, you can choose to run any other command. So I'm going to click apply there because I don't like power settings getting in my way. Whilst we're in here, we've got all these other settings. You've got your theme, so we've got the light theme, or we've got dark theme. So if I choose light theme and apply, you can see I get a light bar at the bottom. If I go for the dark theme, I get a dark screen at the bottom. Clicking on the theme thing there, this comes under the appearance tab. So it's also quick settings. So essentially down here under the appearance, you've got the wallpaper as we've seen before. And we've got colors and themes, and this way you can choose different themes that you might want to use. These are the ones that are installed by default. But if you want to, you can get a new one. And you can sort it by rating. So that's how you'd install new themes. Again, my KDE install guide will show you how to get that working in full. You can change colors, nightlight, how applications feel, all these sort of colors and themes. If you find your keyboards in the wrong language, you can change the model, and here you can add keyboard shortcuts in for different applications. So for instance, Dolphin is currently Meta NE. Now Meta is the Windows key on a Windows keyboard, or the command key on an Apple keyboard, but yeah, you can set up different key shortcuts for different applications. There's touchscreen settings, multimedia settings, game controller settings. Everything you want to set is in this thing here. So let's come out of that and let's look at the next thing. And the next thing we're going to look at is how to install other applications. Now there's two things I want to show you. Let's first off go into the Hello Center. I'm going to click this applications here, and this will enable you to install common applications. So by default you get Firefox, but you can install Vivaldi and Chromium. You'll see that we didn't have an email client installed, so you can install one. So if I go under Internet, there's no mail client, so you can do Evolution, Kmail, Thunderbird, Geary. So let's install that. And Office Suites, if you decide that you don't want FreeOffice, you can uninstall it and install LibreOffice. And there's also OnlyOffice as well. There's things for ebook reading, text editors, printing, graphics creation. So you've got Blender, GIMP, Inkscape, Krita, Pinter, stuff for photos, movies. So you've got KDE here if you want it, got audio players, video and audio editors, chat tools, backup and password managers. So you can install applications this way, but we're not going to. Or you can use this tool here. So you can browse through different categories. So if I wanted audio, I can just browse on the category. If you know what you're looking for, you can search for it. So say I want Google Chrome. I can search for it. Now you can see Chrome isn't there. So this is important. What can you do? If I go up here and go to Preferences, this tells you about updates and how often it checks for updates and where it's getting its repositories from. Now a repository is the list of applications and where it's going to go and get applications when you want to install them. And then you've got this advanced tab here, but the important one for getting software that isn't available in the App Store is under this third party here. Now you can enable AUR support, which under Manjaro, and this is where Arch users don't like Manjaro. If you use AUR, it's going to download and install the latest version of an application. And the way Manjaro works, it takes Arch and it holds on to it for a little while, make sure it's stable before releasing it as an update to you. So if you install from the AUR, then you're no longer using the Manjaro repositories, which means you're breaking how Manjaro works. Now if you've got conflicting libraries across the two, it could in theory break your system. Now a way around that is actually just to enable Flatpak support to get the things that you want, and you can do check for updates on that as well. And I think with Manjaro I would probably do that over enabling AUR support. I'd only enable AUR support if you can't find a Flatpak. So now I'm going to refresh my databases. I exited out and then reopened the application, and now you can see if I want Chrome for instance, I can now just check that and click apply. I'm going to apply again, enter my password, and you can see where it's coming from. You can see that's coming from Flatpak, which is what we enabled, and you'll see there's other web browsers available and actually other applications. So there's a WhatsApp client, If we look, we'll find Spotify, we'll find Steam. Now Steam is available via Manjaro's own repositories and via FlatHub. So that's how you enable your App Center so you get more applications available to you. And you see it says transaction successfully finished. So when I close this now, you see Chrome is now on the taskbar. So I can click here. I can make Chrome my default browser. And here we are at the Everyday Linux User YouTube page. So really that's all I wanted to cover today. It was basically a mooch around the KDE desktop within Manjaro so that you can find out A, how to look around the system, B, how to set up some hardware devices, C, how to install other applications, D, what applications were installed in the first place, a little bit about customization. And now you should be in a good place where you can actually explore for yourself and get a better understanding for yourself how Manjaro works. And you'll see I haven't used the terminal once since being in Manjaro. So Manjaro is a distribution you can use 99% of the time without using the terminal if you choose not to. And that's it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on Everyday Linux User.